So is like political will? Oh God. Okay. Is political will like mostly tied to funding or?
Yes, it's not the absolute, but like there is a funding part, which will be like which you can adhere to the political will, because like without funding you cannot do you cannot intervene in any diseases. So like and there are lots of factors. The one factor is like when the fundings are coming from the international side, then sometimes they want the donors, they may influence the policy, influence the leader, and then influence the policy, and they can direct that funding according to their desire.
Yeah.
For example, your country has like crisis of HIV, for example, say, but your donor want to spend the money on the tuberculosis part, on the research and development, on the policy, on the supply of medicines, on the like in kind of tuberculosis part. Then it won't be like then the HIV portion, which is affecting your country very much, like will get less funding than the tuberculosis, and that things has happened in the past.
And so then you would need to convince the international community that this particular disease is
Yes.
of highest priority.
Yes. So how do you do that?
Yeah.
Surveillance. A very good and efficient systematic surveillance of the disease. Every health system need that. Not only in the developed country, but also in the LMICs. There are like health systems. The surveillance has been incorporated into as a part of the important part of the health system. So you will do that surveillance. So you will find out after doing surveillance, and you will find out what is the major disease that is coming in the surface, and how and what like programs we need to schedule for this. What sorts of population we need to go and track.
So I think you've sort of touched on it already, but in our class we're talking about global challenges as like these wicked problems that have no real solutions. They're tangled up in other problems. They require a policy change instead of like just a technical inventing a new drug. So in what ways do you see a disease like tuberculosis as being one of those global challenges?
The thing is like you can track down the top 10 leading causes of deaths worldwide, and tuberculosis probably is like ninth, I think. So and that means like it is already a challenge, but the problem here is why it is a challenge. The thing is like the tuberculosis is like about, you can say it is a bacterial infection first, and like when it when the peoples are infected through it by it, then it will like 5 to 10% of those infections in most of the human population, they will remain latent. They will not show any signs and symptoms. They will not infect you actually. They will, like you don't need any medical care. But beyond that, it will progressive towards the fatal disease, and like it is a respiratory and transports the respiratory medium like air or airborne droplets, and the transmission pattern like highly contagious. Like one can transfer TB like to his family member, to the society in a no time. It is airborne, so that makes you one of the like important like you can say top causes of death. And there is next factor, probably the important factor is poverty. You can see like often you can see many papers citing or linking the relation of poverty with the tuberculosis, and like it is also like true, the poverty is like very good causes of like you can say good cause for every diseases in the planet. And like for the tuberculosis, there is a poverty fuels the tuberculosis infection, and in turns tuberculosis also fuels the poverty. The TB control program has DOTS therapy. It's like something direct I forget the full form, but it's something like direct observation treatment system kind of thing. So that is 6 to 8 month course therapy. The therapy that is very lengthy. 6 to 8 months is probably half a year. That is for normal TB. will come out in the different aspects of MDR and XDR, multiple drug resistance TB. That is for the normal TB, 6 to 8 months. And what is the cost of the DOTS therapy? Do you know?
1,000, 5,000?
No, it's around $300 or 260 something. 260 to like 300 in LMICs, lower and low income countries, where most of the population live below poverty line of that is like $1.9 per day. So after getting tuberculosis in that population, what you will achieve? What you will expect? For example, I am earning $1 or $2 per day. I am getting TB infected now. Now the problem is like, should I go to the work, which will feed my mouth and which will feed my family, or should I go to the tuberculosis center to like do my to receive the therapy, which is like around $300?
It's like a year's worth of food.
And like that is one problem. Okay, like for the DOTS, there will be some for the DOTS therapy. There will be some you can say government subsidies and subsidies from the donor agencies, and the price may be like that may came down around like $100, or in some cases it will be free also. But the another problem here is like the length, 6 to 8 months. That is the month, like 6 to 8 months is like it's a kind of complete isolation, because it is a highly transmissible disease, I think. And the another thing here is that I want to mention is the air quality, smoking, and you can say some of the climatic factors like radiations kind of thing.
Radiation?
Yes. I recently go through one paper in Brazil. They found that like UV radiations during the pre-summer, pre-winter and winter, they might be a risk factor for getting tuberculosis infection. For rural, I don't know about the rural areas of China, but I do know about the rural areas of my country, and like LMICs, like India, like Bangladesh, like indoor air pollution is a huge problem there. So like and like in the microbiology level also, like presence of carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide can trigger the reappearance of the mycobacterium tuberculosis. Like you can say, if the tuberculosis is in the latent phase, if the bacteria is in latent phase, then the presence of carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide, that they will like kind of make them active. The experiment have shown that. So in my case, I'll go for the rural area to be more prone for tuberculosis infections, people living in the rural area. But the problem here is like migration. Yeah, the people, they are frequently coming to cities. They are frequently going to other countries for better jobs, for better life. So, and when a person get infected, then he may pass tuberculosis in no time.